I know here that came from Beijing to support me. I'm flattered. Thank you very much. I won't blush. I'll try not to. This is not a technical talk, by the way. So I won't write C code in a text editor in front of you. So how many of you have heard about SFD, by the way? 1, 2, yeah, 3, okay. Okay, so SFD stands for Software Freedom Day. It's a yearly celebration. So it's like a party time. It's one day every year, the same day. So it's the third Saturday of September. It started in 2004, and the idea is to talk to people who don't know about free software. What is free software, and why they should use free software, why they should care. We are not targeting people who actually already know free software and already use free software to come and make a party among themselves. It's really an outreach program. What we try to show, and what the message really is for people to like the idea and then start little by little. It's not forcing people to use Linux, be not happy with it, and then go back Linux or something else, and it could be FreeBSD, and then go back to their proprietary software the next week. So our target audience, basically, I think it's everywhere. Education, government, home businesses. I think free software has come a long way since it starts 25 years ago. I think free people can find solutions at home, everywhere. Maybe not complete solution, but at least partial solution, and then raise issues about what's missing, and the community can provide that over time. So this year, by the way, is going to be on September 18th. So free software was actually started by the founders of the OpenCD project. I don't know if you heard about the OpenCD project. Now it's called the Open Disk. It's a series of free software application that runs on Windows. So the idea is to get Windows user to use some application that they're familiar with, like web browsing or sending email or maybe graphic design, and to use equivalent free software application. And so while they're getting familiar with the idea and they love it, then little by little they migrate to these applications. And then when they move eventually to a free software operating system, then they'll know how to do things already. So these people, actually, I think Matt Ockist, who is our treasurer now, saw some AOL CD in the US, and so that was really rubbish, and we should better distribute OpenCD CDs. There's a lot more value to it, and that's how free software started. What SFD does basically is, well, SFI, which is the name of the organization, is to collect money from sponsors, and we send goodies, well, CDs, T-shirts, balloons, stickers to teams all over the world to help them to organize their events. We also run a wiki for all these teams to put information. There are mailing lists. We help them. We write documentation. We share templates. We share content like project plans or how to request money from sponsors, these kind of things. And it's local teams that organize the SFD events. What you have to know is actually all the board members are also team leaders. I organize SFD events every year, and all my colleagues, I'm on the board by the way, all my colleagues also organize teams as well. So I already mentioned Matt. Well, you can read quickly. I don't need really to go over that. But this is what we have in mind why free software is not going so fast. Just as an extra information, from 70 teams in 2004, we are targeting for 1,000 teams this year. So in 7 years, basically, it's quite a big improvement that we're rather proud of. So the purpose which I started with is really to talk about free software and to get people hooked. And the reason for that is really, it goes back to what the Free Software Foundation say, though we have different ideas on a few points they make. I would say we're probably somewhere, we're not as hardcore as the Free Software Foundation, though we do agree with the for freedom, but we really think that the dialogue with people should be a lot softer, not tell them not to care about proprietary software. We think software freedom matters. I actually was with Richard Stallman last week. We talked a lot about this, about things also the Free Software Foundation says that, well, it's not clear from their communication. And one of the things that is important, I think, is they fear that today's Linux users don't care about freedom anymore. And it's not just because they use Linux instead of GNU Linux. It's more because they use Linux the same way they would be using Windows without caring about the application that they're running. A lot of Linux users today run Skype, run proprietary drivers, and they don't mind. Which means that Linux could become, in 5 years down the road, if it becomes, if the popularity continues, could become the next Windows platform with a lot of applications running closed source application, somehow killing free software. If you think about voice over IP on free software, I think the clients today are not very good, and one of the reasons could be that Skype is available on Linux, and so people don't bother complaining about not having a free software alternative. They just use Skype. If you imagine Microsoft tomorrow releasing Microsoft Office for free under Linux, who is going to use open source OpenOffice.org anymore? Well, the free software, the people who care about free software will, but the majority of Linux users today probably will not. And that's why the Free Software Foundation think that all this terminology, that software freedom, that GNU Linux, are very important, because they feel that Linux users are actually just Windows users who don't care about freedom. So I have a mixed feeling. I think works. I'm not so hooked up on words. At the same time, for newcomers, maybe it's important to talk about freedom as well, not just Linux. So the other reason why free software matters, and I think you all use free software here. I've seen one or two Windows users here, but they're not in the room. It's really about building your own stack of applications, something that does not belong to a company, something that will be here tomorrow. And it's also about developing local businesses, having supports done by people that people who can fix actually bugs, people who have access to the source code, and that doesn't make sense. It's not possible in proprietary applications. It's also about your data, about file formats. There are really many reasons why you want to use free software. And I think one way to explain it to people, something I compare to free software too is when you have children and the knowledge that you have that you want to share with your children, because you want them to take your knowledge and apply it to their lives and make it better. And I think free software is very similar, where you have a piece of code that is free that you give to the community, and you want them to use it and make it better. And while it is something very natural, that when you talk to people, say, oh yeah, sure, I want to do that with my children, they don't realize that actually software is similar. Because today everybody is using computer and they should have the freedom to use a computer the way they want, not the way Apple decides or Microsoft decides or any closed source company decides. And the third slide on why it's important, it's really because you care about your community, the place you live, the planet you live, and you want to give people all the tools to solve the problem we have today. I think education is the best way to address a lot of issues. Usually smarter people tend to talk rather than fight in general. and we see a lot of issues today with global warming, with politics, with different ideology, and one of the ways is to educate people. I think free software gives tools for people to understand how things works, to give them challenges while they grow up to understand what is problem solving that they could apply later in their life, and solving community problems or world problems. So why should you participate? Why should you organize a Software Freedom Day event this year and next year and the years to come? Well, obviously because it matters. I think that's clear now. It's fun. I'm not smiling, I'm a bit tired actually, but it's actually fun. I've organized 3 Software Freedom Days 3 years, for the past 3 years, sorry. The first year I did 1 event where we had about 700 people. The second year we did 3 events, and the third year we did 86 events all over China. So from doing 1 little event first, then we started to develop and help other teams to organize events, and I've really had a lot of pleasure, a lot of fun working with other people, seeing students, for example, organizing events and trying so hard to make it well. And I think it's a great experience also for people to develop skills, to develop building relationship with local partners, local sponsors, with their schoolmates, preparing for an event, organizing all the signage. I mean, you can see every open source event is very similar in somewhere where you need signs, you need rooms, you need all these kind of things, and I think it's a very great experience that you can get for free, on top of having fun, because there is no pressure. So I think yeah, one more reason is actually the community you organize it for will thank you later. So, and of course we need you. We want to have more and more people talking about free software, so we definitely need you. The next thing important is location. I think location is everywhere. So how do you organize a free software event? Well, you have many ways to do it. There is not one specific way. This is a Thai from Thailand team that decided to go around the place. So they actually used the thing we shipped, which is the T-shirt, the balloons, the CDs, and they went around their city advertising free software. There's a lot more picture on Flickr. I just took 2. In a cafe, so you can just hang up at your Starbucks, and look a bit stupid, and then people will come and talk to you. That works as well. It could be also in a flea market. So you just take a booth outside, and the same people will be curious. They will come. If the more color you have, the better you will attract people. It's really, at least what I like about these events is you really get to talk to people one-on-one and discuss about free software, which is very efficient. A lot more than one-to-many, I find. So you challenge. I mean, they challenge your belief about free software all the time, because they have issues that they think are not easy to resolve. And they've all heard once or twice about OpenOffice.org or Linux and say, oh, that's complicated, that's technical, I don't know how to install it, I don't know how to do that. And you can really actually brush up your skills about talking, and maybe technical skills as well. Can be in an office, maybe your manager or your boss will be okay to open the office on a Saturday. So that's also another possibility. Here it's in a playground, so a public place where people bring their kids during the weekend. It doesn't have to be formal. It doesn't have to be a conference. This is in a shopping mall. So for us in China, shopping mall is difficult because they're going to charge us if we go there. And it's a small place, but I know other places should be a lot easier. It really depends on the country. I think this team is in Australia, actually. This is a university, so it's a very similar setup as this one. That was the event in Beijing in 2007. So we had more people than we expected, actually. This is, I'm not quite sure. It looks somewhere between a warehouse or a public outdoor space. And that works well as well. This is an indoor room. So maybe town hall, maybe this local government can give you a room for the day or half a day. Same, you see. Here it's I think it's Kuala Lumpur. This is a subway station. So they went, again, in a public area to try to get more people that actually don't know about software. And this one is a funny one. This is a pub, obviously. This one, they are night animals, I suppose. And they went into a pub to promote free software. And then if all these options don't work, and you can't find another place, well, maybe your garden will be fine. Assuming you're a garden and you don't live at the 12th floor, but maybe your friend's garden. So, how do you make it happen? Well, first, you obviously can't. It's difficult to do everything on your own. So build a team. It's more fun to do it with a few people. So I think 3 to 4 people is good. Try to get people with different skills because you will have different tasks to accomplish. There are some communication tasks. There is a bit of technical tasks, maybe maintaining the wiki or the web page, talking with sponsors, going to schools and getting people to come. What's important is to make a plan, what you want to achieve, even if it's not much. You can say, okay, my plan is to talk to 10 people who don't know free software. And so you hang up in a place like in a cafe, and maybe you're going to talk with people who already know free software, so that's not your target. But if you achieve your target, you'll feel very good. And 10 people maybe is not a lot, but actually 10 people who don't use free software is not bad. We organize, Pocky here is also my partner. We work together on promoting free software. We organized an install fest for Girl, when was it, 2 years ago? And the same, instead of having a big event where a lot of people that we know or don't know come, we only called people we knew in our friends and asked them the one that don't know Linux. And we did, so we didn't have a lot of people. We had actually 10, 15, 20, 18, I think, people. But we did a very, the work was more on the follow-up to make sure they keep using free software, not they install it once to make you happy and then they stop. Sorry? And yeah, a lot of customization. Like there was a theme. It was not just to install Linux. It was also how to customize your desktop to make it look the way you want. Women, they like pink background and these kind of things. So they were very happy. But so I think objectives, having a target, it really helps you to know and achieve what you want. Well, then you have to decide the location, how long. I think half a day is fine. Doing an event that's the whole day, sometimes you might have problem with food because food costs money. So if you start in the morning, especially a Saturday morning, people might be sleeping. And then they might leave at lunch and not come back if you don't provide the food. So maybe just the afternoon is better. It's really up to you, depending on your budget, on your audience, where they are. So the other question is, do you need money? I tend not to like money so much. Because I think it brings, especially in informal groups, where it's not codified what to do with the money, it tends to bring issues. That's my feeling. You might have a different perspective. One thing you can do is also to sell, if you print CDs to give to people, is to sell them for maybe a small amount of money. So assuming it costs 20 cents to burn a CD, I mean a blank CD. If you sell them $1 and you tell people, okay, I can give you free software but for $1, it's not a lot of money. So if people care, actually don't mind to give $1, and then it allows you to compensate the money you invest, and it's not a lot of money. So you have a calculation, so you know the return on investment. And if you need money, then you really need to have a budget to know how much money you need to plan. We can help you. That's the kind of thing that SFI can help you with budgeting, how much things cost and what do you need depending on the type of event. And then you have to make a plan and send it to sponsors. I found out that for such an event, if you're very transparent with the sponsors and you list all your costs, you have a lot more chances to get funded. When we organized our first SFD, we sent all the details to all our sponsors, including Google, and Google decided to pay half of it because they saw that it was a serious, well-organized event, I guess. So being transparent will help you to get people funded. The purpose is not for you to make money, but it's for you to get the event running. So this is, I'm not sure whether, I forgot if it's Pakistan or Indian, but it's a guy, this team decided to burn their CD and make some stickers, and you have, sweat labor, you have to put stickers by yourself. For information, the same Poki and I and the Beijing Linux user group ship the goodies to all the teams every year. So the past 2 years, actually, we've sent about 300 packages to all over the world. And we make that during one evening, and so you have a group of 6, 7, 8 people putting T-shirts, CDs in envelope, and sticking the address, and it looks very much like this, a bit busier but very similar. Then you have some teams, we have a bit more preparation work. They print stuff, they print T-shirts. You can do the same thing with T-shirt. In Taiwan, I think it's rather cheap to get T-shirt. So the same, you can sell the T-shirt for, triple, or don't print too much. Just print a few and sell them. It's fine. At least you cover your cost. Another very important point is to talk about your event, to advertise. So on our website, we use OpenStreetMap. So you have a little marker so people can find your event. They know, if they look in Taipei, they will see the map. And right now there is no marker, no team in Taiwan. So I hope it's going to change. The other way is to use online social networks to print. What we do in Beijing is we print small posters like A3, I think, and we put them in places where people are susceptible to see them. So they come. It's newspaper also. I know in Beijing we have that's Beijing. A lot of cities, big city, have free newspaper where this kind of non-profit event can advertise. They're always happy to have some content. You can talk to non-free newspaper as well if they're interested in free software to cover your event. That's also not bad. Universities, schools. We have a whole explanation how to contact schools and get them involved. That's also another location where you could go and organize, not universities, but middle school where you could organize your event. So how do you register? How do you get this formalized? Basically, you go to the wiki of Software Freedom Day. You create an account, you log in. Don't forget to log in. If you don't log in, you're not going to be able to edit any page. You browse to the location, find Taiwan, Taipei, create a page, add the name, at least a contact mail or number, so people interested by our event locally can get in touch with you. Then you save the page, and then you register at the registration page, and that's it. You're set. You're officially registered. And then after you do all the rest. And then if you're afraid, don't be shy. You're not alone. There are many teams around the world that have done it. This is definitely, you see they look so happy, all of them. Look at their faces. It's fun. You look so bored. And if you do SFD, you're going to be so happy. It's going to change your life. This is, in Beijing. Look at that. This is in Africa. So, yeah, I see you want to organize one. I've noticed. Yes, I see a smile on your face. Okay, 1, 2. You can have more than one event in one city, or especially a city like Taipei. Definitely, there is room for a lot of events. I think in Beijing last year we had like 10 or 15 different locations. Yeah, a lot of universities. Another thing that we do in Beijing is the Beijing Linux User Group provides sponsors. So we provide speakers. So we actually go to many events to present talks about free software. And that's also, as a local team, things that you can do is get in touch with local user group, and they'll send speakers for you. So that's it. I was supposed to get a reminder for 5 minutes, but I think the reminder girls is late. Can somebody remind the reminder girl to remind me that I have 5 minutes? Yeah, so any question? Yeah, I think she's she's sleeping. No, she wants to organize SFD also. You see, she's smiling. Any question?
So I have a question.
Yeah?
For the audience.
For the audience. Okay.
So how come still haven't have any Taiwan team registered yet? Because I heard there are lots. 我说中文吧。为什么在台湾还没有就是团队注册在 SFD 的那个网站注册呢？因为我知道你们去年其实也搞了很多活动。什么原因？其实这个是不是你们不知道有这样一个网站？真的，你真的不知道有这个网站？那你怎么知道有 Software Freedom Day 这样一回事？你
Your business card，
因为你的名片啊。
你的名片。
但是
没有拿到名片的都不知道。
Last year there were some Taiwan teams.
Yeah, actually, people from COSCUP. We've been talking with COSCUP, and you have some members who organize SFD. Yeah.
Okay, so this year we will have it from Taiwan.
So, by the way, it's a community event. It's really, we're not a company. We're not. We do it for fun because we believe in what we do. So, it's not. I remember every time I say why do we do it, I remember the Beijing Linux User Group meeting, the newly open Mozilla office in Beijing in 2007, talking with the newly appointing CEO and asking the Beijing Linux User Group how we were making money. To which we answered, actually, we don't make money. And so he was very surprised. And then he asked us a second question, which was, why do you do it then? So, well, because it's fun, because we like it, because we believe in it. And I'm sad that Firefox, Mozilla hired such kind of people to develop a market like China. But that's another story. You want to talk? She's also a board member of Software Freedom Day. So.
是啊，对啊。那各位还有其他问题吗？因为感觉刚才是你们两位在互答。哦，对，所以我们在看你们表演这样。那有没有其他想要说询问的？其实最大的问题，刚才他自己已经自问自答了。然后你有赚钱吗？哦，没有。哦，我喜欢他，所以我们来参与他。那今天就是一个快乐的 SFD。那各位不知道对这个东西，可能这个组织或者是相关，还有没有其他的问题？如果问题其实可以讲中文，哦，因为穆勒会讲的。哦，说法语，这可能比较难一点。有没有一次、两次？那我们要请。
I think everything is very clear now. Everybody, if you want to use my computer to register, it's fine. You can do it.
You should have a traditional Chinese wiki. Your wiki version.
That's a very good idea. Let's talk. Yes, you can make actually Chinese pages. I can show you. Yeah, and actually you could invite him because then after the party you go to KT. Well, after the day you go to KTV. I have. Oh yeah, I have pictures of Funda. No way. He's the king of the KTV.
OK，
Yeah, I'm done. But
如果没有其他讯息，那就得交给我们的。不对，我少做一件事情。来宾请掌声鼓励。好，大家真的都比较沉默一点点。那如果这样的话，浪费了Muller，然后我们也不能是耽误他的时间，或者是耽误其他讲者的时间。等一下有空，Muller还是会在旁边等着你来问他问题的，好，或者是来交个朋友，对吧？
我的名字是 Fred， 不是Muller，Muller是我的姓。
sorry，
还是你可以叫我海涛。
对，他叫
海涛可以。
海涛，
海涛，对，上海的海，那个到你这个三点
艺术气质的名字。那我们再一次谢谢他，也准备请下一位讲师来做准备我们的环境，谢谢各位。